Hello, and welcome to another Adverity Platform guide. In this video, we're going to show you how to create users and workspaces within Adverity. But first, what are workspaces and how can you set them up?
Workspaces are areas where you collect, transform, and work with your data. They are created according to a parent-child structure whereby you will always have one overarching workspace, and then beneath that you can create multiple child workspaces. For each workspace, you can also specify things like which users will have access, which authorizations are shared, and which transformations are applied. This means you can effectively manage data access and ownership across multiple different workspaces, making sure that only the right people have access to the right data at the right time. You can always see what workspace you are in by checking the workspace title in the top left corner of the screen. And you can change workspaces by clicking the Select Workspace button. Workspaces and users are both created in the administration section of the platform. It can be accessed from anywhere in the platform by clicking the settings icon in the bottom of the platform navigation menu. By default, we are taken to the workspace settings for the current workspace you are working in. In the settings, we could make changes if needed. For now, let's say we want to create a new workspace and click Create Workspace at the bottom of the secondary menu. First, we are asked to give our workspace a name. Then we can choose which workspace should be the parent workspace of our new workspace. This is important because user rights and some other settings are transferred from the parent to the child workspace. You have the option to choose a default destination into which you want to load collected data extracts in this workspace. If you choose a default at the workspace level, you can still make changes to data stream level. In this example, we'll choose to load the data into the Adverity data storage by default. If you need a consolidated overview of activities across the child workspaces of this workspace, select the Show Tasks of Sub-Workspaces checkbox. This means in the Performance Manager page of this workspace, you will see all tasks in any of its child workspaces. Selecting the second checkbox will add the options Fetch Data Sequentially and Share with Child Workspaces to the data stream configuration for all data streams within this workspace. Here's what this looks like in the data stream configuration. Fetch data sequentially means the data fetches are queued one after another, instead of running simultaneously. This can enhance performance and is especially useful in bigger setups. Share with child workspaces enables child workspaces to access the data stream. This is useful if you need this data stream's data in multiple workspaces. Now back to our workspace settings. Here you have the option to upload a logo that will be displayed on the top left of your workspace, just like the Adverity logo you can see here in our parent workspace. You can also add an onboarding assistant to the workspace. This is a digital assistant to guide you through your first steps in Adverity. Lastly, you can adjust default data stream settings for the workspace. For example, the setting Unique by Fetch means that if you fetch 7 days of data, you receive one data extract with 7 rows. The setting Unique by Day means that if you fetch 7 days of data, you receive 7 data extracts with 1 row each. We recommend this setting if you're importing fresh data, which should overwrite old data regularly. Again, the default settings can be adjusted on a data stream level if needed. You can also choose a grace period for this workspace. This defines how long a data extract should be kept after deletion, which allows you to recover data extracts that are deleted by mistake. If you're happy with your settings, click Next to the right. Now, we need to select how the data in this workspace is stored by Adverity. This is not linked to your destinations. We recommend using Adverity's default S3 storage, or you can set up a new storage option if you like. Now, our new workspace is all set to go. Let's move on to user settings. To navigate to user settings, just click Administration at the bottom of the platform navigation menu, then Users in the secondary menu. Here we can see an overview of all users in our workspace, the workspaces they have access to, and their user rights. To add a new user, hit Create User in the top right corner. We'll need to enter the new user's email address, first name and last name. Then, we can choose the permissions our new user should have. You can find a detailed description of all user groups and their permissions in the documentation. It's linked in the video description. For now, let's select Administrator Permissions. Next, you can specify which workspaces the user should have access to. click Select All above the drop-down menu to give the new user access to all workspaces. Lastly, we need to choose whether we want our new user to receive notification emails or newsletters and to select their time zone. Once we hit Create, our user will receive an email with a URL they can use to log into the platform for the first time. If you are creating multiple new users that will have the same access rights and settings, click Create and Clone. This adds our new user, then duplicates it. You then only need to enter the email address, first name and last name when adding the next user. The settings will remain the same. Back at the user overview, you can see the new user has been added.
And that's everything you need to know about creating users and workspaces within Adverity. Thanks for watching. For more detailed information, be sure to check out our Adverity documentation.